I found most useful as a younger attorney when I was starting out was to look at what somebody else had done before. If I were starting with a complaint, I'd go down and get a couple of models of complaints in similar cases. If I were going to take a deposition, I'd go read a couple of depositions of people that had taken depositions previously in something that was as close or parallel as I could. So I'd look at this as a well-traveled road. In a way, everything I've done, everything that I've said, everything that I've argued has already been said before by other people, and I'm saying it again, and people will say it again after me because it deals with the human experience. And as the scripture says, there's nothing new under the sun. So it's very unusual to get a problem that's unique in the law. We have so much jurisprudence now. We have such a history from the common law in England to this country that there's almost no problem that you can imagine that hasn't been dealt with in some way or another in the law. So I would always start as a young lawyer for looking at models and prior cases and prior testimony and prior transcripts and so forth. Now that doesn't mean you copy them, because they're going to have made mistakes and their situation isn't going to be exactly what your situation is, and it isn't going to fit with your personality and approach to the law. But they're very good points of reference. Here's what this person did about a similar problem. How am I going to approach it? How might I vary that to improve on what they did or to tailor it to the facts of my particular case? Both are important. I would say the written history of the law, the corpus that we have, is by far the most important. You're going to be able to read all the way back to Sir Thomas More, and you'll see histories of cases, you will see case books, you will see transcripts of trial, and you're going to find things in there that will be close or that give you the needed ammunition to prepare your case. Now, what is a personal mentor, a senior lawyer perhaps in the same firm, something of that sort? What can he add to that? I would say mostly what a personal mentor can add is technique, approach, reassurance that you're on the right track. The first case I tried, for example, was in my first year out of law school. Well, that's not absolutely correct, because I spent a year clerking for a federal appellate judge for 1 year. So I was 1 year clerking for a judge. Then when I came to a law firm the following year, I tried my first case that year. It was a civil defense case. There was a partner on the case, but it was a case that was not really big enough for that partner to handle. Had he gone down there and won it, everything would have been fine, but he'd gone down there and lost it, it would have been a great embarrassment. So I was right out of law school and expendable, and I was anxious to try cases. And what he did for me on that is we went down to court the day before my trial was to start. He showed me which side of the courtroom I stood on. He showed me where the witness would be, where the judge would be, and he just bathroomed me around in the courtroom. It was nothing substantive. I looked up past arguments in order to craft my opening statement. I looked up past cross-examinations to craft my cross-examination. But he did take me around and show me around the courtroom. That was helpful to me. So I didn't get down there and be concerned about, should I be on the left side or the right side? Do I sit against the jury or opposed to the jury? Where do I sit? What can I walk through the well in the center of the courtroom? Just those sort of things. So that was helpful, and nothing that you're ever going to read will teach you about that, because it changes all the time, and it's unique and changes in different courtrooms as well. So that was helpful to me, having a mentor. The other thing I think with young people that I mentor in our law firm is letting them know when they're really missing the point and when they're on the right track. If I can reassure them they're on the right track, that I think adds considerably to their confidence and is very useful, and no case book or written history of law can ever do that for you. So there's a role for each. If I had to have one or the other, I'd take the written body of the law, the corpus of the law. There's a lot more there. It's rich. If you dig in, you can really learn a lot from it. But it's certainly nice to have those little tweaks of having a personal mentor or a senior lawyer in your firm. One of the most important pieces of advice I ever got from a senior lawyer When I started to practice, he said, took me aside quietly, and he said, Don, when you're in a trial, he said, never miss an opportunity to use the restroom. You never know when that guy up on the bench is going to take the next break. And that saved me from some harried moments that I've seen other lawyers have in court.